So we finally hit the point where my motion design editor went from being a pile of code to something I can actually use and animate with. But first, hello, I'm Martin, and this is my journey building Pins and Curves, a new motion design editor for independent creators. So let's jump right in. In the final days of September / the first days of October, and after many months of building various tiny creative tools, I finally built a timeline. And you have to imagine, up to that moment I had been building what you can think of as little Lego pieces, and the timeline was the necessary breakthrough that allowed me to assemble them into something that resembles a real editor. So today I want to take you through some of the key moments where that happened, so you can see the progress day by day. So let me show you today's progress on Pins and Curves, and as of today you can add effects to layers. The only effect that exists right now is a white circle, which is not great, but it's a start, I guess. And you can keyframe its properties. And most importantly, you can have more than one circle on your layer, meaning more than one effect. You can stack effects. That's the point. And soon you might be able to do even more than that. So as you can see, I've gotten a new haircut since then. But also at that moment, the editor was still in wireframe form. This was sort of the culmination of a multi-day effort to put together the timeline, and I had just managed to get things to work together. Now the next day, I started working on some UI improvements. So today I added these little drag handles that appear when you hover over a layer, and that let you reorder and drag your layers. And it got me thinking about something, which is I'm kind of new to this UI UX space, and I have this need to make gestures very explicit. Like if something is draggable, I need there to be a handle so that it's super obvious that you can drag the layer. But this is not always how it's done out there in the wild. Like in a lot of video editing software, you can drag layers, but there is no like visual cue for that. You just know you can. I do wonder what the correct way is to think about these sorts of things. So you see, visually, a lot changed in that day. The editor already looks a lot more put together, and the keyframes actually look like keyframes. But let's keep going. Today I added a ruler to the timeline, which adapts as you zoom. And it's really basic right now. In the future, I might want to make it more fancy, like I might want to have a situation where as you zoom out, it goes from showing you frames to showing you seconds to showing you minutes. But I'm not dealing with that right now. Now, after I added the timeline ruler, I spent a couple days working on shader effects and like testing out the editor and playing and making little animations and such. And it was only after that I resumed working on the timeline. So today I implemented playback. So now when you press space, the animation starts playing back and the playhead moves accordingly. And the way this works under the hood is that when you press space, somewhere in the application state a switch gets flipped from paused to playing, and a timestamp gets saved of the exact moment when you pressed space. So from that moment onward, at any moment in the future, we can calculate how much time has passed, so how many frames have elapsed, and we can figure out which frame we should be showing right now. So after adding playback, most of the essentials were in place. I was just missing one very important and critical feature. So today I added the ability to add easing to keyframes. So now keyframes can be eased in, eased out, or easy ease, basically. Whenever you have keyframes selected, a little overlay appears that allows you to adjust the easing. And I haven't made it pretty yet. The overlay is quite ugly, but that's something I'll work on. And this is basically where the timeline still is today. After I had implemented keyframe easing, I went on to work on shader effects to add some more content to the editor, and this led me to give text rendering a try, which triggered a whole chain reaction and ultimately led to me doing some foundational work on the render engine that powers the editor. But I'll tell you all about that in the coming episodes. For now, if you want to follow along, consider subscribing. You'll be seeing almost daily shorts. and occasionally some deep dives like this one. Anyway, to end on a cheerful note, let's look at some bugs. Today we're doing a walk of shame. I'm gonna show you some of the bugs I've been hiding from you. I've known about them for a while, and I have yet to fix them. Number 1. The timeline extends into the negative. So there's negative time. That's not what you want from an editor. Number 2. When you name your layers, you can give them arbitrarily long names, and the text will overflow and the UI will look ugly. That's not great. Number 3, and this is a little tricky to explain, but when you select keyframes, you have to select them in the right direction. Otherwise, it doesn't work. That's all from me. See you soon.